tutorial is on calculating CAC registration costs. We will be looking at the cost of registering a business name, company, and NGO. But the bulk of this tutorial is specifically on how to calculate company registrations. We all know that for 1 million shares, the estimated cost of registration is about 19,700 as shown here. This is the breakdown of it, but I want to take us to one of my ebook that contains the breakdown of the cost of the different entity. So this is an ebook. This is my ebook. It is free for those who has paid for my complete CAC course. We look at cost of CAC registrations and stamp duty, especially in company registration, with a guide on how to calculate cost of company registrations using the total share capital. The cost of company registration is dependent on the amount of shares. The higher the shares, the higher the cost of registration. So we look at the business name, look at the fees. When you want to start business name registration, the reservation name will cost you 500, though there are some charges that remitter will collect. It's about 160 something naira. Then for the registration and CTC, this is the certified true copy of registration documents, is 10,000 naira. So to register a business name, you spend about 10,500 naira if there is no denier. So you just, for the name reservation, 500, registration and CTC, certified true copy are the documents you get at the end of registration. So this costs 10,000 naira. So the change of name and annual returns. So I will be dropping a link to get this, to download this ebook for those who are interested. Now we'll look at company limited by guarantee. Name reservation is 5,000. Incorporation of company limited by guarantee is 20,000. You are spending less than 30,000 to register a company limited by guarantee. Then change of name. If you are changing name, this is the cost. Annual returns, status report, letter of good standing, certified true copy documents, extract. Now for those that have lost their documents and want to get it back through post incorporation, you are charged 5,000 naira. But if you have access to the account that was used in registering it, if it was done online, you also pay 5,000 per each document. If it is the certificate, 5,000. If it is status report, is 5,000. And for the company, small company, name reservation is 500. Registration and CTC of registration documents, 10,000. That is for company of 1 million shares and below. Now for every 1 million share capital increase, if you assume you are registering more than 1 million, for additional 1 million up to 500 million shares, additional 1 million share will cost 5,000. Now above 500 million, additional 1 million shares will attract 7,500. And for private company other than small company, it's the same, basically the same. Name reservation 5,000, registration cost and CTC 1 million shares and below, 10,000. For every 1 million share capital between 200 to 500, attract additional 5,000. For every 1 million share capital above 500, attract 7,500. Now look at the public company. Public company, those companies that their shares are listed on the floor of Nigeria Stock Exchange. The name reservation costs 500. Registration and CTC 20,000. Then additional 1 million shares. From 2 million to 500 million, additional 1 million share costs 10,000. Now above 500 million, for each additional 1 million shares, cost 15,000. So you can see whichever you are registering, if it is above 1 million, now this is for 1 million and below. So if you are registering 1 million and below, it is 500, but less than, there's no stamp duty here. Stamp duty is about 87. It's still less than 30,000 to register this public company of 1 million shares. Now we look at the incorporated trustees or the NGO. The name reservation or reservation code costs 5,000. Then the registration and CTC of registration document costs 35,000. Now this change of name, annual returns. To register a new incorporated trustees will cost about 40,000 payable to Corporate Affairs Commission. Then other costs that will be incurred is newspaper publication and vote declaration. For those that contract the minutes of meeting to maybe a lawyer or whoever, that can incur another cost. But if you want any minutes, you can write it yourself. So these are the example of restricted words. When you have limited by guarantee, reservation costs 5,000, group of companies, incorporated trustees. So these are restricted words. So I also added sector or business object and their required amount of shares. Money lender company, 20 million shares. Underwriter. For access to get this ebook, check a link in the description. I've also shown how to make some calculation. This tutorial is focused on calculating CAC registration costs, especially in company registration. For some, they already know the amount that will be spent on registering a company, private company limited by shares with share capital of 1 million shares. So this is a breakdown of the estimated cost both on CAC and FIRS stamp duty. Now the name reservation will cost 500. Registration fee for share capital of 1 million or below is 10,000. Then FIRS stamp duty will cost approximately 8,700 naira. Now the total cost when you add all of them plus the remitter charges will be like 19,700. So it's still below 20,000. Now you can charge 70,000, 50,000 depending on your negotiating power and then your experience. The problem comes when you now have you want to register a company, or you've seen through the details that the company you are registering cannot be registered with 1 million shares. Maybe it's 10 million shares, 20 million shares, or 30 million shares. Now it now creates a problem. How do we now calculate? How do we know how much is going to cost us so that we know how much profit will be our own? Now this will be on 5 million share capital. This is for 5 million share capitals. Now we already know what it will cost for 1 million shares, and now we also know that for small companies, for every 1 million share capital, additional 5,000. So the person will be paying additional 5,000 per each additional 1 million shares. Now we already know for 1 million, so we can calculate for 4 million and then add the one of 1 million shares. The estimated cost of 1 million shares is about 19,700. Additional 4 million shares needed to make up the 5 million shares. Additional cost to be paid to CAC is 5,000 times 4 to give 20,000. Additional stamp duty is approximately 87 times 4 to give 34,800. Now when you add the overall total cost of 19,000 plus 19,700 plus 20,000 plus 34,800, this gives you estimated cost of 74,500. So you can add the remitter charge, maybe about 1,000 or 2,000. Add the remitter charge, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, and now calculate your service. So having known the total cost, now having known the estimated costs, now the onus is on us to add what will be our profit, what we think is befitting enough for all the work, for all the stress, for what you are going to pass through to get this done. If you are getting value for this, kindly subscribe to my channel. Your subscription does a lot to me. It motivates me to create more content, and it also helps YouTube to show it to other people. Now, if you're on mobile and watching this, you can click. If you've not subscribed, you see that this subscription will appear like this, telling you to subscribe. Now all you have to do is click on it to subscribe, and then there is an icon below. There is a drop down you can click on that will bring up these notifications. You can click on all. When you click on all, you get all notifications from my channel. Anything I do, any new videos I upload, you get notified. Now when you've activated this notification, you see the icon will change. You see the bell icon has changed here, showing that you've activated notification button. And now the next is for you to give a like the video. What your like does is it increases the visibility. It makes the video reach. It makes YouTube to show it to other people, increasing the visibility. You see below this, you see you will receive all notifications from my channel. Now this, when you like the video, you see the number of likes will increase. So kindly do me a favor by subscribing. So next we'll move to how to calculate company of 10 million share capital. Now we also know that for every, this is limited to private companies, and then if it is public, the ebook I showed us has the amount for public 10,000 per additional 1 million shares, between 2 to 500 million, and then 500 million and above 15,000 naira. So for every 1 million share capital, additional 5,000. The estimated cost of 1 million shares is about 19,700, as we've known. Then additional 9 million shares needed to make up the 10 million shares. Additional cost to be paid to CAC is 5,000 times 9 to give 45,000 naira. Now the additional stamp duty is approximately 8,700 times 9 to give 78,300. Overall total cost is 19,700 plus 45,000 plus 17,300 to give an estimated cost of 143,000. So add some charge from remitter, and then add your service charge if it is done for a client. So look at 20 million share capital. It still follow the same way. Additional 1 million share 55,000. For 1 million shares, 19,700. Additional 19 million shares is needed to make up the 20 million shares. Additional cost to be paid to CAC is 5,000 times 19, which will give 95,000. Additional stamp duty is approximately 8,700 times 19 to give 165,300. Overall total cost is 19,700 plus 95,000 plus 16, 165,300 to give an estimated cost of 280,000. Now you can add some miscellaneous charges that remitter will collect, and then add the service charge if it's done for a client. So now I want you to have picture of this, have them documented that okay, when a client asks for how much will you use to register 20 million shares, you'll be able to give the detail. The next one we'll look at is company of 30 million shares. Please kindly subscribe if you've not subscribed at this point, and then click on the notification icon to get notified when I make any upload, when I make new video, new content upload on my channel. And also like, comment and share so that YouTube can show it to other people. Now back to our calculation now, for a company of 30 million share, for every 1 million share capital, additional 5,000, as we have established. The estimated cost of 1 million shares is 19.7. Additional 29 million shares needed to make up the 30 million shares. So I made a mistake. It has been corrected. Additional 29 million shares is needed to make up the 30 million shares. Additional cost to be paid to CAC is 5,000 times 29 to give 145,000. Additional stamp duty is approximately 87 times 29 to give 252,300. Overall total cost 19.7 plus 145,000. The stamp duty is about 252,300. The overall total cost is 19.7 plus 145,000 plus 252,300 to give an estimated cost of about 417,000 naira. This is what will be spent. I want you to prepare for this kind of job. Add your service charge. And we'll look at incorporated trustee as I've stated in the ebook. The name reservation for restricted name, is a restricted name, is 5,000. Now the estimated cost of registering incorporated trustee is about 35,000. Other costs that will be incurred will be on newspaper publication depending on the dailies and your contacts. I have a contact that does it for 4,000 per publication. Now one of my students approached a newspaper in Ondo State and he was told 18,150. And I had given him a contact to whom I use, who does it for 4,000 and 8,000 for both copies. Now we also oath declaration also costs depending on whom you are using. If you go to some courts, the stamp may just be 700. Now depending on the number of trustees, when you do it yourself, you may not spend up to 5,000 on oath declaration. So this has given you a guide on the estimated cost. Some charge 150,000, some charge 120, some lawyers charge 250,000. Now the onus is on you to build your brand, to command some brand identity. That's, when you have customers, when you have clients, when you give them a cheap price, they will leave you. They may think that you don't know what you're doing. On this note, we've come to the end of calculating CAC registration cost. If you've got value, kindly subscribe. If you've not subscribed, click on the notification icon to get notified whenever I make any new upload, and also like, comment and share so that your friends can get to know of this information, of this content, of this tutorial, and also to enable YouTube to show my content to more people. In other words, by your liking and commenting, subscribing, sharing my videos, YouTube, you are contributing to increase the visibility of my content via YouTube. Once again, thank you for the good you do. Thank you for watching.